Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Operation Dignity's workshop series, a series aimed at fostering independent living skills in our clients. Today, we will be covering avoiding scams in our second workshop in the series. So, what is a scam? Nowadays, scams can be very complicated, and if you aren't vigilant, it can be easy to get caught in one. Especially with data breaches that are happening all the time, scammers can be very convincing. So, to start, let's look at some things and see if we think they might be scams or not. And you can write down what you see or what you don't see, and we can see how accurate you were at the end. Also, none of these images are mine either, they're just examples that I used. So, this first one here, do we think this is a scam or not? I'll give you a few seconds. You can pause it if you'd like, so that way you can determine what you think. And the verdict is that it is indeed a scam. If you're ever on a website like this where it's telling you that your Windows is infected with viruses and you need to click here now, the chances are that you're looking at a scam. And the main way you can tell is that on this website the URL isn't correct. This is nothing like Microsoft's actual official website. So for the second one, can you tell me if this is a legitimate USPS website? Again, I'll give you a few seconds just so you can think it over and look at it. And if you guessed that the site was a scam, then you are indeed correct. Many scam sites look very good, and this one looks almost identical to the USPS website. You can see on the left here, I have the scam website up. You can see the banner is the same as the official website here on the right. The font all looks the same, everything, it's very advanced, so you always want to be mindful. Again, the URL is different. Some of these buttons don't work on the scam page that would normally work on here. It's just things to keep an eye out for. So next is a text from this number saying that they have noticed unusual activity within your account. Do you think that this one is a scam? Actually, my take for this one is that it's a little hard to tell. I do get actual notifications from my bank with things like this. However, clicking a link in a text like this is usually not advised, because even if it is your actual bank, you can go to your banking website, log into your banking account, and check your inbox there. Or you could even call your bank if you're really unsure. But I would not advise clicking links like this, even if they might appear to be legitimate, just because, again, there are other ways that you can find methods to check it. Next up is this one. It's a job posting, so I'll give you a few seconds to look it over and see what you think. And obviously this one's a scam. I didn't need to give you too much time for that one. You can see there's a lot of typos in here. It's just unprofessional wording, no credit card required. I don't know why you would need one to work for them anyway. So yeah, with all these job websites, it can be a little tricky. So just keep in mind that, you want to be always keeping an eye out for things like these weird random capitals, random punctuation, that sort of thing. So next up, I'm going to talk specifically about VA benefit scams. Unfortunately, veterans are targets of a lot of scams, and your guys' benefits are very valuable, and so scammers are always after them. We've personally had several clients who have had issues getting their benefits, or while they were receiving their benefits already, they had a lapse in benefit coverage because somebody was putting a wrongful claim on their benefits or something along those lines. So it's always good to keep an eye on your VA benefits. So first, request the veteran move money into different accounts or reallocate investments to qualify for a VA pension payment. So this is never going to happen. You're never going to need to do this for any type of VA payment. They do not charge a fee for you to access any of your benefits or anything like that. You can always just contact a VA representative, and they will be very explicit about that. Next up is asking for money to handle a claim or charge for application forms. Again, you should not be getting charged for anything with regards to applying for your benefits, getting them, dealing with the administration of the benefits. This should all be free. Next is guaranteeing eligibility for a particular benefit or a lump sum payment upon approval for a benefit. So, yeah, they people can overpromise and they can say things that aren't necessarily true. And if anybody's guaranteeing you anything with regards to benefits or eligibility, it's almost always going to be not an actual guarantee and just a really, incorrectly worded way to get you to follow through. Next up is don't give out your personal information over the phone. And, that depends. If you call the VA yourself and you've been on the phone with them and you already know that you are 100% talking to a VA person, then you can do that. Or if you have a regular VA contact that you talk to and you text with them and you share, something about a job update, that's very different. But if you just get a phone call from a number that you don't recognize or a text from a number you don't recognize, don't share any of your personal information. Next is they will offer to send benefits directly to a caregiver's account. So this is something that is a little bit more complicated, and if you need to ever have it done, you would want to, again, contact your VA person. And basically all of these things are coming down to that you will never have to pay for your VA benefits, and you should be able to go through a VA person to apply for them. And always, always, always contact them and double check if you ever get anything, because somebody would be willing to talk to you and tell you if what you're looking at is real. Next up, I'm going to briefly talk about one of the most common types of scams nowadays. This is a phishing scam. There's so many that I won't be able to get into all of them, but I wanted to highlight one of them that is very common and I see happen in my workplace, in friends' lives, and I've seen it online. It's a very common way that people get caught in scams. So what is a phishing scam? The idea is that it uses a fake login page to get your real information. So, they'll send you a text and it'll have a link to something and you click it and then you go to sign in and it's supposed to be your Microsoft account. But now, out of nowhere, you're not on that page and then you get a bunch of notifications that someone's been signing into your account. So it's very good, to, again, vet links that you get, double check, and go to the website separately if you are curious. There's usually a sense of urgency or doom in the email. As you can see, this one is saying that, your password will expire in 1 day. Sometimes it'll say, if you don't reply to this email within 3 hours, your benefits will be discontinued permanently or something like that. And don't get me wrong, sometimes there are urgent things that need to be done for like your health care or your benefits, but usually you'll be more aware of that and it's not a life or death situation usually. Another way that you can tell a phishing scam is if the sender appears to be the real business or person. You can see here in this example that I took that this email for Microsoft is not Microsoft's email. They don't have an account called Office 365 Protection Services. However, if you're not someone who's super familiar with Microsoft support or you just have never interacted with them, then you might look at it and say, Microsoft 365, that's a product that they have. So, again, you can always Google, what are the actual URLs for people who have emails from Microsoft and try to figure it out there. Next is that it may have a threat in the email of penalties. This one here is a scam Amazon email, and they're saying that if you do not provide a delivery address, a proper one, then you will be forced to pay extra charges to them. And so you follow that link, you enter your information, and the next thing you know, they have your info, and you never get your package anyway. So again, looking at if they're saying things that don't sound right, like, you have to pay again for shipping, always double check. Check the link you're being sent as well. In this example, the link says securityoffice.sendbell.com, and then when the person hovers over it, it says drevil.ca. So, when you actually, if you ever do follow through and click on a link, make sure you look at what the actual link title says and if it makes sense, because sometimes it's pretty obvious if it's not. And then lastly, we're going to go over some tips to avoid scams so that you can try to protect yourself best when you're out there in the world. So again, this is one I've been saying over and over and over: is go to the website yourself. If you have any important communications with any of your accounts, you should be able to find them in your online portal. And I almost guarantee that whatever account you're using or benefits you're trying to access, there's almost always going to be an online portion. Next is hang up and call their phone number. Again, if you got a call and they say that they're your bank and there's a suspicious activity on your card and you don't know what they're talking about, you can always hang up, find your bank's customer service number online, and call them and then ask them directly rather than waiting for someone to call you, because you know that that is 100% their legitimate number after you've called them. Never pay people in gift cards. That's a common way for scammers to get paid. It's hard to track compared to straight up credit card payments. It's non-refundable, etc. It's If anybody asks you to pay them in a gift card, it is almost always a scam. And then get a second, third, and so on opinion. You can always just ask people, ask a friend that you trust, ask your case manager, ask a VA person, anybody who you might know who has a keen eye or who you think would be privy to these sorts of things. Just have them look it over for you and see what they think, because sometimes you may just be missing something that's completely obvious. Next is having different passwords. This one isn't necessarily about avoiding scams, but it's related, because if you get scammed or there's a data breach and your information is leaked, it's good to have different passwords for different accounts, so that, one moment you're not, oh, I'm talking to somebody to get my support for Microsoft, and the next thing you know, all of your accounts have new passwords and you can't sign into any of them because you had the same one and the hacker was able to sign into this one, then this one, then this one. So, just try to use different passwords. Keep a database of what those are somewhere that's safe, and it's best to vary, so that way you don't end up in a situation where you get all your information leaked. And then last, I would recommend, if you really are curious too, you can always call your bank. A lot of banks will be willing to talk to you about if you're getting any types of communications or anything like that are asking for payment. They're usually open to helping you out in that regard and looking things over, or if you go there in person and you tell them about the situation, they can look at the stuff for you sometimes. But oftentimes banks can be a lot more helpful than you would think, and so use that as a resource. If you have a bank account, and you can just call them and say, hey, I'm getting weird messages saying that you guys need money, or that these people want this type of payment, and they might be able to provide some help. And that's all. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me here or call me at my phone number. You can also scan this QR code to set up an appointment directly. I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you all in the future. Thank you.